All right, what is up? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kramer with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we're here to talk about Jack Quaid's new movie, Novocaine. Just came out theaters. Like I said, Jack Quaid is the main character, and then Amber Midthunder is probably the second, and then
Yeah.
everyone else is kind of like whatever after that. No, what's his name?
No.
From what's his
Spider-Man?
Spider Man, Ned
The
from
Jacob
Spider Man.
Batalon?
Yeah, yeah. I think he's the
Yeah.
CEO of sex now.
Yeah.
That's the meme going around. It's just so stupid. He was in it. I don't know. He was in it enough. I guess so. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, he's doing the tour with them. But yeah, pretty much Jack Quaid's the main character. So yeah, we're gonna get to our likes, our dislikes, our rating at the end. Before we do that, Brian, you got a rundown of what this movie's about?
Sure. When the girl of his dreams is kidnapped, a man turns his inability to feel pain into an unexpected advantage as he fights a bunch of thugs to get her back. That's very general because a lot of other stuff happened. And the beginning of it is very different. Like people would have this disease, have problems.
Yeah,
this is real.
That's one thing I think I never looked up. I wanted to look up. Is it a like? I'm assuming it's a real disease.
Oh yeah, no, I saw this on House. So
You're right. You're right.
That's all it makes I know it's a real disease.
But if it's on the House, that means it's super rare because the House always deals
It's
with like the
very
super rare kind of.
Yeah. But they say people that have this, because you have no feelings, you people die out. They bleed out. They don't know. They cut themselves open. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what can hurt them or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
your arm is you severed tendons, you've severed your nerve endings because people don't know. You don't feel it.
Yeah, it was a CIPA, congenital insensitivity to pain with androsis. That was the name of the disease he wound up having that made him a quote unquote superhero. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Even at the beginning, because they talked about he used to live his life very regiment, very much so, because he can't, feel anything. So you said you talk about that people lose fingers, lose hands, feet, because they just do things and have no idea. There's no pain. There's no sensor that tells you, hey, stop.
Yeah. So here you go. It's 1 in 25,000. That's what it is.
That's not that rare then.
It's around 60 documented cases in the United States.
There's 7 billion people in the world, right? So 1 in 25,000 is actually there's more than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like 1 in 500,000.
Estimated global incidence is about 1 in 20. Or no, I'm sorry. That's the USA. Global is 1 in 125 million births.
That makes a lot more. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. USA, there's approximately 60 documented cases in the United States. So he is literally one of 60 people in the USA. Yeah. But he's saying the approximately 20% of people with CPIA die from hypothermia before the age of 3.
Because
it's wild, man. It's pretty cool. Sorry, I'm a nurse, so I love medical shit. I know Brian's a scientist, so
I thought that was the coolest part of it. That was like the way they
cool.
kind of diagnosed it. They talked about, I'm sorry, tell his mom this, I'm sorry, and all. I thought that was a really cool part of the movie. It's important to understand that he lives his life very cautiously. So to go to the extremes that he went to tells you a lot.
Yeah. So we'll start with our likes. We'll start with Brandman. What are some things you liked about this movie besides the sciencey part?
I liked the feel of the movie. I liked how I liked the pacing and just how frenetic it was. It kind of reminded me of Crank a little bit, or things kind of like Crank, or even if you've seen Guns Akimbo with Dan Radcliffe, kind of gave me those vibes as well. I don't think it would have worked as well if it wasn't for the casting of Jack Quaid, because I like how he does that kind of like everyman kind of unassuming that unassuming everyman type. I think he does very, very well. He's pretty much mastered it. If you've just look no further than The Boys.
Yeah.
I like from an action standpoint, I thought it was fun, and a lot of the physical comedy was really, really good.
Yeah.
It just kept me entertained.
Yeah. Okay. What are you, Brian? What you like?
I mean, Jack Quaid is definitely up there. I mean, it's funny that he's become the everyman because his father is Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. Dude, how you become an everyman, dude? Like how you being typecasted into that? That doesn't make any sense at all. It is what it is. He does a great job. I really enjoy the journey. I think the movie itself is smart, bloody, just something gruesome in some parts of it too. Going to all the extremes that he's willing to go to. But I thought it made sense. I understand someone who's never took risk, and you finally have someone that you kind of connected with, and that you're willing to go ahead and go to these extremes for. I enjoyed the journey they took us on, and I was not expecting all the stuff that we got. So that that surprise made me happy, and the fact that it was like kind of rated R, right? So like we got some real stuff. Like we get like with the arrow, like it is gruesome.
Gory.
There's a lot of stuff, like really, like, and then when he starts really believing and gaining his confidence, and he's going out and killing the entire group. It was nuts, but it was a fun time. I enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed myself in the movie theaters like that. And like probably this entire year. That was fun. I'm not saying it's the best movie of the year. I'm saying I've enjoyed myself.
It was a lot of fun
movie, like as much as I did this year, this entire year. So
it's definitely one of the ones that I enjoyed more so far this year. I think the only other one that I enjoyed this much, even though it was a completely different genre, was probably Hard Eyes. That I just had a lot of fun watching.
Definitely different.
Very, very different, right? But in terms, but I'd say around the same level of fun, even though a completely different tone. I'd say I enjoyed this much about the same.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like going back to like the gory, I walked out. I'm like, this is borderline like body horror.
Yeah,
it was like, I mean, it's not as crazy as like say The Substance or something, but man, bones start coming out of the body, and the way they die, his hand, the entire film, every time I saw his hand, that was deep fried, I was like, oh, so there's a lot of stuff going on that you're just like, holy crap, and you see a lot of it in the trailer. Mama bear. You see a lot of it in the trailer, and you're still not ready for it. It gets even more wild with it, so how, with the disease he has, how is he still alive is just comical at the end.
Yeah, like, he should not be alive.
There's no way.
That's why they die early. Like literally the life expectancy is like 30. So like that's the reason.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, he knows he's getting injured. I know that still doesn't even make sense. So I'm trying to justify it. It still don't make sense. Well, but that's what
when they're trying to torture, he's like,
oh yeah. Well, I like the fake, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna carve out your eyes. He's like, oh wait, like the fear actually became real. It was like really, really well done. Even his friend that was played by Jacoby
Jacob Batalon or Batalon, however you say his last name.
Yeah. What was his name?
Roscoe.
I thought it was funny. He's like, oh, I look like Jason Momoa with a ponytail, right? A Harley. It was hilarious. So funny, but by the end of this film, I think you're laughing a lot, and everything is so over the top crazy, and that's exactly kind of what I expected. what's some negatives, Brandman? What you like? What you didn't like about this one?
I was saying I hope Jack Quaid doesn't like pigeonhole himself into the awkward everyman role. Because I don't know, I'm kind of at a point with certain actors where it kind of like it really kind of wears out its welcome kind of fast.
Yeah.
Like, Jack Quaid does that a lot. It's kind of why I'm kind of like walking a tightrope with Jenna Ortega. With her kind of playing like the introverted kind of like goth type. I don't know. It wears thin kind of fast for me.
Like the
at this point in
I mean,
time.
he's kind of been that everyday man twice this year, and it's only March. So
and
Yeah.
every season of The Boys.
yeah.
Every season of The Boys, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it was a little bit different in Companion, but for the most, but then at the same time, it kind of wasn't.
Exactly.
I think that was really my only like really glaring thing with it. I thought it, in terms of like the gore factor, I know a lot of people have a problem with it. I think the fact that it was so gory kind of worked to the narrative advantage and kind of made the most of the plot. But I think that was like my really one glaring thing.
Yeah, I like that. He gives off Tom Hanks vibes.
I can see that.
Yeah, I like that. But so does Tom Hanks' son.
Well, one of them at least. The other one, no,
not so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Brian? What's some negatives?
Sometimes it got too gory for me. There's times where I did go like, that's a little bit much. That's a little bit. It was a movie like almost like John Wick type of movie, like him going through all the stuff without the skill. Just without the skill. So sometimes it was like unbelievable, and I was like, okay, all right, this. And then by the end of the movie, I was like, man, this is just a whatever. This is whatever, full fiction. Start off with something that's very nonfiction, like you can see actually happening, and you just got to a point where it's so full fiction. But that's what you get. And it was a little long. I feel like it could have been cut, like maybe 15, 20 minutes of it could have been cut. But besides that, I mean, it's Mr. Nobody type of thing without the skill.
Nobody.
So like, and that's where I'm like, but that's neither here nor there because I had a great time. So whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't have too many negatives coming out of it. I think they could have made it a little bit shorter. I think the beginning and the end doesn't really match with. Like it goes such on a wild ride that by the end of the movie you're like, wait, how did this movie start? You kind of forget, like, with everything because it just goes so off the deep end. It is, which is fun, but like as a coherent story, you're like, how did we get here again? Like, so. It was kind of like whatever. Like you definitely had to suspend some belief, a lot of belief, in some parts. But it didn't ruin the movie for me. You kind of go in for a fun ride, and it's exactly what I expected. But yeah, a little bit shorter for sure. I could have done with it being a little bit shorter, but it didn't overstay its welcome, I don't think. But yeah, could have brushed the beginning a little bit more, possibly. End up very predictable. Very predictable ending.
Yeah.
I saw that coming like a mile away. So
he finally, it's so funny because like all the adrenaline that was going through, he was killing, just ripping up at everyone else. And then, when he finally calmed down, he just kind of passed out. I thought he was going to die.
Yeah, that would have been interesting if they would just killed him.
He would have died.
All right, we do things nice and easy over here. Now, later, never. Now means you got to go run to the theater, watch it right now. Later means you can wait till it's at home. And never means just skip it altogether. Brandman, what you giving Novocaine?
I'll give it a now. because it's a fun watch. And if you're, it's not for the squeamish though, because they do it does have a pretty heavy gore factor, but it works in the context of the movie and what they're going for. I think that Jack Quaid is a big reason that the movie works, even though I know I said I hope he doesn't eventually like pigeonhole himself and he branches out a little more down the line, but in the context of this, it worked pretty well. I kind of rank it like alongside, like I said, movies like Crank or Guns Akimbo, Nobody to an extent, in terms of action versus physical comedy. I thought the physical comedy was a big reason it worked as well. So yeah, it's just a fun, entertaining time. So yeah, I could give it a now.
Yeah. Okay. What are you, Brian?
As long as you do your homework and know what you're walking into, it's a now.
Yeah.
Do not think you get into some rom-com type of movie. You'll be sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
As long as you know what you get into, it's just a now movie. It's fun, it's gory, it's crazy, and funny. So yeah, I'm all for all those things. So yeah, so now.
Yeah, yeah, and I think Brian, you put it the right way. As long as you know what you're walking into, So like, if Mama Bear, if you didn't, you're like, oh, I'll go see it, Jack Quaid, right? Yeah. If you don't like gore, that's definitely not for you. But it is a now. I think everyone in the crowd, you're all gonna kind of feel the movie together. You're gonna grunt, you're gonna like turn away and laugh.
Oh.
Yeah. It's definitely like a crowd enjoying kind of like all together kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun. Super gory, so gory. But definitely a fun movie. Definitely giving it a now. That is our thoughts for Novocaine. It's our review. If you are in the live chat, stick around. We're gonna get to all your comments. If you're on the replay, make sure you guys leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think about this movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is it too much? Are you gonna skip it? Let us know. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come and join us every Monday and Thursday. We are live talking about movies, TV, other nerdy stuff, other news, and a lot of fun stuff that we do with chat and hang out a lot. So we appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us. And if you are in the live chat, stick around because we are going to get into your comments right now.